Well, we are excited in Elwood, Indiana today. It's a great day in our city. I dressed up for the occasion for my good friend and our next governor. To qualify my attire, it was Walk to School Day in Elwood, Indiana. And we are celebrating the fact that there are some good federal programs, Congressman. And one of those is a federal program that puts new sidewalks and makes safe routes to schools so that kids can have a healthy alternative to walk to school. So this was our second annual walk, and we had over 200 kids and parents come out and walk, and it was a little misty and a little cold, and so I had my Panther football sweatshirt on. Anyway, I didn't have time to run because he all up for you. I'm sorry. But it is an honor to have you here. We have, after the election, our new state representative is our old state representative. Jack is back. Mr. Lutz is here. So we are well represented by what will be, after the election in November, a new administration in Indianapolis with our good friend, Governor Mike Pence, and State Representative Jack Lutz. But today it was kind of appropriate to bring Mike back to Cadet. In 2009, we came through Cadet, Congressman, and met Eric and talked about what he was trying to accomplish here. They've been wildly successful doing that. They're growing this business right in the heart of our city. But their focus, Kim McCullough, his plant manager, had a focus and a passion for vocational education and how we could partner with our local career center and raise up that next generation of engineers and machine operators and all of the folks that have made our county and our state what it is today. And through that passion and that vision, Congressman, soon to be governor, what should I call you? You have so many titles. Mike did a rare thing, and I think Eric acknowledged that in private conversation, a very rare thing for elected officials.
He listened.
He listened. And so we're all here today because we're so excited that we have someone who actually listens. And when you came out with one of the planks in your campaign with a focus on vocational education, we knew that it started in Elwood, Indiana. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for listening, for making it a priority. I want to acknowledge today Tammy and Jim, if you'd stand up. These are the two that direct and run the Career Center. John A. Times Career Center. They're here. We have representatives from the state, Emily and Ed. Elwood, Indiana is leading the charge. We now have, Work One has made a commitment. We have 1 day a week. We have an office in the Career Center. People do not have to go out of town and go to Anderson, go to another community. They go right to our Career Center. We're working very hard to become a work keys community, which means we're training folks to be ready. And as I go out as the mayor, and our new governor will hit the ground running, and our state representatives, and we're trying to woo companies to Indiana, we have to have a workforce ready to go to work. And if you all aren't successful, we can never be successful. And then our communities are not successful. So thank you very, very much for doing what you're doing and standing on the front lines. Could you give them a round of applause? Eric, I think I'm supposed to introduce you. Eric Fettig, along with his father Phil, are the owners of Cadet Manufacturing. And Eric has been a tremendous community partner in many, many, many untold ways. And he's the reason I'm standing before you as your mayor. And I'm honored to call you my friend. Thank you for what you do for us.
Very quickly, since I'm not here
or you're not here to hear me talk, but I will give you a quick synopsis of what we do here. We employ about 15 people, great guys, very skilled, hardworking guys. You'll see them around the plant. If you run into one of them, ask them what they do and how they do it. They're very proud of what they do, and they should be. We serve markets primarily in the heavy manufacturing industry around the Midwest. We've been very fortunate to call some large and significant corporations customers. And we're excited about those opportunities. We're excited about what can happen in the future, not only for this location, but perhaps even other locations within the state of Indiana. Moving along, to paraphrase your Indiana, a state that works a little bit, a state that makes things. I've heard people say that as well. We make things. We make them right here in Elwood, right here in Indiana, right here in the United States. And we're very proud of that. If you see any of our materials around, they'll probably have a tag on them that says Made in the USA. So we're very proud of that. And we're very excited. 3 years ago, we really bent your ear. And Kim McCullough, his history in the trades, and what we were doing as an industry here, we bent your ear, and evidently you listened. So we're very excited. We think it's important to Indiana. We think it's important to our country. So we're very proud to have you here today. And without further ado, Congressman, future governor, and friend of Elwood, Mike Pence.
Thank you, Eric, and how about a round of applause for Cadet, for Eric and Kim. What an exciting place, Mayor. You know, I can honestly say I was for Ron Arnold before it was cool. I'm awfully proud of this man, his wonderful family, and I know his wife is here with us. You know, my ambition in life is only to be esteemed by people that I esteem. And I'm grateful for your kind comments. And I'm more grateful for your leadership here in Elwood. You know, Elwood wants a mayor that puts on a Panther football sweatshirt and walks the kids to school. Would you give him a round of applause? But Eric, thank you. It is not an overstatement. We've got a picture to prove it, that we walked through Cadet back in 2009. I think bent your ear is a slight understatement. And I want to thank you for that. And I do believe in servant leadership. I was talking to a reporter on the way here. They were asking me about how my faith informs my service. And I said, well, probably predominantly it informs my service because I think he who would be first should be last, should be servant of all. And the servant leader always listens before they lead. And for me, I'm grateful for the encouragement in your words, Eric, and Kim the same, that you have a memory. Because I guarantee that what happened here at Cadet in 2009 greatly informed our thinking. When we unveiled our very first, and I hope some of you get a chance to walk out the door with one of our roadmaps for Indiana. But what you can't tell looking at the roadmap is that the very first proposal that we offered was to make career and vocational education a priority in every high school in the state of Indiana. Again, that was the very first thing. I mean, to make Indiana the state that works, and I know Jack Lutz, who I'm going to introduce in a moment here. Jack Lutz believes this passionately. It's in his bone marrow. He's a guy from this part of Indiana, born and bred. He gets it and understands it. I mean, we've got to stand for the principle that all honest work is honorable work. And the truth of the matter is that my view is education ought to be about the business of saying to our kids, we think you've got God-given abilities. And we want you to have an education where you discover where those God-given abilities are, and then have the ability, before you graduate from high school, to develop the skills and the background necessary to be successful wherever you want to start. If you want to start your college career, or if you want to start in the workplace, our high schools are going to work for you. And they're going to work in conjunction with our career centers and with all of our partners in the workforce community. I simply want Indiana to have, without a doubt, the best educated and the best skilled workforce in America, and I want that to start in high schools in Indiana. So, let me acknowledge one other family that's here before I introduce Jack Lutz. And again, I do want to encourage you to take one of these roadmaps with you. You know, I was chatting a little bit with Jim, and I said, and Tammy. And I said, I've had some people come up to me and say, there's an awful lot of detail in that thing. That's not what candidates for office usually do. You know, it's usually bumper stickers and vague generalities. And I said, well, I really believe there's two kinds of people in public life. There's people that get elected to be somebody, and there's people that get elected to do something. Well, my ambition as your congressman the last 12 years has been to do something, to take a consistent stand for fiscal responsibility, for limited government, for strong national defense, for common sense and common values. And let me assure you, if I have the great privilege in a little over 4 weeks from now of being elected to be the 50th governor of Indiana, we're going to do something. We're going to make Indiana the state that works. And we've got a plan to do it. And I encourage you to look at it. We're talking about cutting taxes for individuals and businesses all across the state of Indiana by 10%. We're talking about encouraging greater partnerships with our universities and with our private sector. We're talking about life sciences first, Eric, but manufacturing is right around the corner. I want to encourage an atmosphere of innovation and investment. We're talking about jobs growing in the city and on the farm. We're talking about urban and rural. And it all begins with focusing on making job creation job one. You'll see how we focus on doing that. But my ambition is that Indiana, before we're done, would simply be the best place in America to start a business, to grow a business, to get a job, to go to school, to raise a family and retire. That's my to-do list. And I think we can get there. I really do. As somebody else who believes that is someone that I want to ask. I think that's a bumper sticker. Jack is back. Somebody that I want to introduce in just a moment. Before I do, though, you know, I was asked the other day what the hardest decisions I've had to make representing you in Congress have been. And I looked at the reporter who asked me that question, and I said, I don't want to be misunderstood on this, because I don't have any doubt that I made the right decision on both of those votes. But I said, you've asked me what was the hardest. What did I labor the most over in thought and in prayer? And I said, it's not even a close call. The day that the Commander-in-Chief asked the Congress to approve the use of force in Afghanistan, and the day that he asked for permission to approve the use of force in Iraq. It was not because I doubted then or now that the use of force was appropriate and proper. It was because I knew in my heart of hearts that I was one of the people that would push a button and cast a vote, but there would be men and women and families that put on the uniform and acted that out. And I knew there would be separation, and I knew there would be heartache, and I knew there would be loss. And I did not approach that lightly, but I approached it with prayer. There's a family here today, well known in Eastern Indiana, that I'm always honored to be with. Raymond White fell in Iraq in 2004. And he fell in a circumstance where he stayed at his post. Enemy fire coming in. He stayed in the turret of the vehicle, while others were able to scramble to shelter, and lives were saved. Raymond White's an American hero. And the fact that we were able to see American forces leave combat operations in Iraq and leave on success is a credit not to politicians that cast votes, but it's a credit to the soldiers and to their families that brought that about. and have always brought that about in our history. And so let me just say that to have his folks, Mr. and Mrs. Hank White, with us today is humbling to me. It is emotional to me, and I just want to give you a chance to show them one more time how much you appreciate the man they raised and the hero that they remind us of when we see them. Would you join us in thanking the White family for being here? Thank you all for that. On to the business of the day. When I entered campaign politics in 1999, there were just a few people that came alongside and said, well, we know you tried this thing a while back and you weren't successful. And you've been on the radio, but I actually think you might have something to offer in Washington, D.C. And we showed up in Madison County, and a storied name in public life came alongside us and said, I want to help you, I want to be there for you. And as I've gotten to know and served with Jack Lutz over the years, I've just seen him, he's a man of integrity. He's a man that has served with great distinction as a conservative leader in the Indiana General Assembly. And I want to introduce him to you properly. He was actually first elected in 1991 to House District 35. He's a father and grandfather. As I mentioned, he's a born and bred Hoosier, a resident of this district. He's also a leader at the legislature. If I'm elected governor in a little short of 5 weeks here,
No, not if.
I'll probably have to be especially nice to him because he's chairman of Utility and Energy. And let me give Jack some credit here. You know, we've got progress to make in a broad range of areas in Indiana to build on the success of the last 8 years. But one of the assets Indiana has and has developed over the decades that he's been in a leadership position is we're one of the lowest cost energy states in America. And a guy that's helped lead that energy portfolio in Indiana in the law is with you today. It's one of the reasons why companies like Cadet come here, grow here. And it's a decision that you all make, and I know that. So I want to commend him for his leadership in that area. He represents Madison, Delaware, Tipton, and Hamilton, all are in part. And he's just simply someone who has been willing to stand up consistently for what he believes in, but to stand by those that are putting people ahead of politics. I mean, that's really what this is about. The reason I'm in Elwood today is to ask for your support in my effort to apply for a new job from the job you've given me to be able to serve to become the 50th governor of Indiana, and I do ask for your support. But I'm also here today, since Jack is back, to ask Elwood one more time to step up and send Jack Lutz back to the Indiana General Assembly to help lead us to make Indiana known everywhere in this country as the state that works. Jack Lutz.
Congressman, thank you. Well scripted. I sent that to you yesterday. And I appreciate the comments. Quite honestly, Mike, you probably don't remember the first time I met you. You were on Rec Talk Radio, and I walked over to the state convention, and you were outside, and you interviewed me. So that was my first fond memory of Mike Pence then. And then when you started to run for Congress, I remember we went door to door in Anderson with your family then down here. So it's been fun seeing them grow up. And, you know, they don't stay a little long. They're long and gone. They have their own families. So,
Thank you for everything, Jim. Appreciate you so much.
Appreciate you coming up and making a trip to Elwood. But I had been around for a while. Since 91, I came in midterm in 1991. And my first session was 92. And that was a short session when we started the first week of February. and we have until March 14th to be out of session. We were out of session on February 14th of that year, and at that time I was kind of driving back and forth, and I thought, my golly, what have I got myself into here? But in '92 was my first election. Prior to that, I was serving on the Madison County Council. I had privileges representing county government and local government. So, Mayor, I know what local government's about, the budget crises. And when you're on the county council and you walk into the county building, all the department heads and office holders look at you and say, you know, we want this, and you're probably not very well liked because you never get them everything that they really want. But it was a good experience for me. And we weren't supposed to win in '92, but we did. We worked a lot, and at that time it took on a new district that had Elwood in it. We worked with the Elwood mayors. The majority of my tenure at the Indiana House of Representatives has been in the minority. And working in the minority is not a lot of fun, but I'm proud of what we've done as far as being in the minority. We've got a lot accomplished in the last 2 sessions being in the majority under Governor Daniels. It has been a pleasure. And then in '05 and '06 we were in the majority and we accomplished a lot. And I'm really excited about looking forward and working with the new governor, keeping the majority in the Indiana House of Representatives, a majority that could go ahead and do business and not have to sit and wait for Democrats to come back from Urbana, Illinois for 5 weeks to do business. That's not a good thing to happen when you're an elected official. But I want to congratulate you and help you as you grow. When I first walked in talking with Eric, he said, we want to grow, but we're kind of waiting to see till after the election. And that's what a lot of people are waiting to do, to see till after the election. And this election is important, not only for Elwood, Indiana, the state of Indiana, but our country. And I anticipate and would hope that we can move forward together and build this company and move it forward under the direction of the new governor as well too. Because I know he'll be here to help out, and he'll have his department heads working to take over where Governor Daniels has moved the state forward a lot, and I'm wanting to be involved in a Mike Pence administration. It's going to be fun. So I thank you. I'm here to ask for your support next month. I'm going to get picked on a lot because of my votes on education. My votes on education that will move the state forward. There have been some unpopular things that we've done. The voucher program, choice. But folks, you just can't be throwing money into something that's not working. You know, money is important in education, but it's not the answer. It's involvement and change. And everybody fears change, but it's going to work. And with the vocational program, Mike, like I said, I can remember vocational education when I was in high school, so I'm dating myself. And it's a program that works, and we have shovel-ready sites, but we need the employees for good-paying Hoosier jobs equally as well. So I ask for your support the first Tuesday after the first Monday next month. Elwood is important. You know, I think they think that they're going to really pick on Jack Lutz and Elwood, Indiana, but it's been a privilege for me to represent you in the past. I look forward to working with Mayor Arnold, as I have some of your other mayors, R&D in the past too. And it's been kind of a privilege when we had the Build Indiana funds to see some of the funding that I obtained. Your municipal building, your city building. I think when we still had R&D funds. We got $100,000 for that. A lot of grants through your upgrade on your sewage system, and we've done. You've got an economic development department now, and it's working hard for you. And I'm anxious to work with them and represent the citizens of Madison as well as Delaware County. So, and again, thanks for your support. Look forward to working with you. And my door and telephone number is always open. So.
We're here today with Mike Pence, running for governor of Indiana. Mike, thank you for talking with us.
Thank you.
I know Elwood used to be a booming community. Okay.
Right.
What are some of the things that a small community such as Elwood could benefit from you making office?
Well, I really do believe that Indiana's on the verge of an era of growth like no other in our lifetime. And if we seize this moment, I think every community, large and small in Indiana, has an opportunity to create jobs and to see real growth, but particularly communities that have a tradition in manufacturing. Whether it's here at Cadet, whether it's Red Gold, we have a deep tradition here in the Elwood area of manufacturing. And I think with just a little bit more tax relief and with a commitment to making sure our high school kids have the ability to get an education so they can go to work in a manufacturing environment right out of high school if they want to, is going to be key.
What would you like to say, what points or views would you like to put out there for all those undecided voters that just don't know what way they're going to turn in?
Well, I hope that as people get to know me and my family, they see us as an opportunity not just to keep Indiana going the way we're going. When we've become the fiscal envy of the country, we've honestly balanced budgets, we've reformed education, we've reformed the workplace. But I hope they also see us as someone who will go to the next level. When I say Indiana can be the state that works, I mean Indiana has an opportunity to now create good jobs and great schools and safe streets and strong families. So for me, it's about staying in the right direction, but aiming even higher and really making Indiana the standard in the Midwest, if not the country.
Thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Pam.